Hello, this is the story of when I encountered a bad person at a nightclub. I am 18 years old and my friends and I got out of class and summer vacations are coming. The following week, my best friend told me that her college boyfriend works at a club and he'll totally help us get access even though we were underage. As long as we don't bring in attention, of course. It was perfect. My parents were out of town, visiting my grandparents, and it was just my brother and I at home. On the side note, my brother is 21 already, and he looks older due to his serious features. I asked my brother to come with us to the nightclub since he would fit right in. He reluctantly accepted since he didn't like the idea of underage girls going to a club. But he's cool, and besides, he also had his slides back in the high school. We arrived at the club and, just as promised, the shift manager let us in. However, right before we stepped in, he told us to be careful about accepting drinks, among other things, from strangers. This is a nightclub after all, and not a trip to church. It was amazing. The moment we got in, the environment completely changed. Lights of different colors illuminating the place. Lots of people dancing and drinking. Some of them had no shirts and acted totally normal. Bartenders doing flipping bottles of different liquors. I thought they got these employees right out of a circus or something like that. This truly is something else. We started dancing and getting some drinks, trying to blend in with the rest of the people. As time passed, we got separated for a time. We figured we are old enough to take care of ourselves. No one will bother us, since we're all adults after all. How naive I was. It still amazes me when I think about it. I was so out of touch of reality. Wow. Anyways, back to the story. I was dancing with some other girls. They looked to be in their late 20s. I noticed they acted a bit too intense. I mean, it's a nightclub, and the common behavior is to be happy and all. However, these people may have been overdoing it a bit much. They look weird too. For example, their eyes look red, and some of them even throw up. At the time, I thought nothing of it. Maybe it was for partying every night, I implied. As I was dancing, a guy no older than 25 years old approached me. He seemed harmless, and he started dancing with me and having some drinks as well.
Okay. There.
As I was dancing, a guy no older than 25 years old approached me. He seemed harmless, and he started dancing with me and having some drinks as well. Sometime later, he got closer and asked me if I wanted some of what the other girls had. He showed me a few white pills and he said, "This will make you feel like floating." I kept quiet for a few seconds and just looked at him and the pills. "What's the matter?" he said. "Ah, I see you've never tried it. You see the girls over there?" He nodded toward the crazy girls dancing. He went on saying, "One of these pills and you'll be dancing just like those girls over there." In that moment, my brother came and said to the strange man, "I think you should get lost," he said. It was one of those moments I'm grateful my brother is sober protective. The stranger left us immediately. Minutes later, my brother told me that we should leave. So we reunited with the others and were talking about our time at the nightclub. All of a sudden, I heard someone screaming. I turned toward the noise, and that's when I saw it. One of the girls I was dancing with was on the floor, convulsing. I felt so afraid at that moment. I have checked online before about drug effects, so I knew it was that. It has to be. I was afraid that could have been me if my brother hadn't stepped in. Minutes later, the ambulance arrived and paramedics were assisting the girl, doing CPR on the girl. They ended up taking the girl to the hospital. Anyways, this is my story. Last thing I heard, the stranger that approached me got arrested. He was found to sell drugs and other illegal substances at other nightclubs as well. Fortunately, the girl made it, but I never want to speak to shady strangers again. I think the experience I had marked me for life. I'm 40 now and have kids of my own. I always advise my kids about being responsible and never talk to strangers. I still think about what would have happened if I had accepted that stranger's drugs. Be careful out there. Don't do drugs. And please, don't talk to strangers, especially people from shady places.